4 tips that I have for being a little bit more confident on camera. So let's just jump over here and look at that. So why does confidence matter? Being on camera can feel awkward at first, and honestly it can feel awkward a lot. So even if you aren't new to it, it can feel pretty awkward. So you want to have some confidence. It's not about being perfect, like I say right here, but it is about showing up naturally and making sure the message connects. So like that's your mindset going into it. If you're wanting to be confident on camera, that's going to make you look confident. It's not about having the perfect script and being able to say it word for word. It's about showing up naturally on camera, like you've done this 1,000 times, and also the message connects with what you're saying and connects with your audience. So that's what's going to give you confidence. Tip number 1 is to breathe and to pause. So that's kind of rudimentary, and it probably feels like it's not really a big deal. But I will say that when you take time to do this before you record a video, it's hugely beneficial. Hugely, I'm not sure that's a word, but we're going to use it anyway. It's very beneficial because it just allows you to settle your nerves, settle down a bit, and kind of focus in on why you're making the video, right? Because that ultimately, the why you're doing this is so important to the message. So what I would say is take a deep breath before hitting record. And honestly, maybe even after hitting record. Like a lot of times I'll hit record, kind of go through what I need to do at the beginning, but just take a deep breath and relax and realize that you're talking to someone across this camera and that it's, really not a huge deal to be on camera. Like it might feel like that, but it's not. And so that deep breath helps. It also, just helps to use pauses and slow down. This can happen even in the midst of your recording. So sometimes when I was first starting out, like I would get into the rhythm of like trying to get through the script as quick as possible. And then, I would just need to pause. I need to pause in between takes or pause and just kind of slow down, realize what I'm doing, and not try to rush through the thing to get it recorded, because that also can give you a sense of like not having the confidence to actually say what you need to say on the video. So slow down, use pauses. And I'll say starting out, like just a little bit about like my backstory. Like I went to college for like filmmaking and other things. So like I was filming a lot. I wasn't on camera a lot. So I had to like coach people through being on camera and learning, helping them learn how to be on camera naturally. So through that, it helped me out quite a bit to be able to do that myself. But even then, like I had to go through and like just spend the time doing it and get used to my voice and my face and everything on camera. So, that's gonna, even with a background in it, it's gonna take some time. So be patient with yourself. So the pauses feel longer to you than they do to the viewers. So this is what I'm talking about specifically. If you're kind of slowing down the way you're talking and you have more pauses in between what you're saying, those pauses are going to feel much longer to you while you're doing it than they will to the viewer. And I think in like today's world, we are all about cutting up the video so quickly to get to the next point that sometimes it's refreshing to watch a video where someone is just thinking about what they're saying. They're taking time to pause and to say the right things, and it's not all about just cutting up and getting it as, shoved down their throat as fast as possible. So just breathe, pause, slow down what you're doing, and that'll give you more confidence in what you're saying and what you're delivering on video. The second tip I have is what I call script highlights. So the main thing here is don't memorize paragraphs. So like if you write a script out and you don't use a teleprompter, or even if you do use a teleprompter, don't memorize the paragraphs. A lot of times you might have a script and you have like 4 sentences in a row and you want to get it perfect in that take, and you want exactly what you wrote to be what you say, and then you sit there for an hour redoing it because you keep missing that one word, or the way you said it just slightly changed it a little bit. I think that you shouldn't memorize that paragraph. You should go into it knowing that this is kind of the gist of what I want to say, and if I get it close to that by ad-libbing or just talking through it, and maybe I say it a little bit differently than the way I wrote it, that's okay. So don't feel like you have to go back and get it exactly perfect to the script that you wrote, because that's just going to take way too much time, and honestly, it defeats and deflates the confidence you have in what you're saying. So don't worry about memorizing the paragraphs. Memorize the main topics, the main ideas, and be able to talk through it fluently. And then the next thing I have, this is like what I do. I'm actually making a video right now. It's going to come out next week about how I highlight my scripts. And what I do there is, while I'm doing the planning, not every video has a full-on script. Sometimes I do this with just outlines, makes references, but a lot of times I'll write out a script to get the gist of what I want to say. I won't necessarily use a teleprompter. I do have a teleprompter, and sometimes I do use it. It just depends on the video, but I won't necessarily say it word for word. But the nice thing that I do that helps out in editing and just gives me confidence to know what I'm saying and what the video is going to look like in the end is I use color coding for references. So for instance, like a talking head, if I'm scripting, I'll just do it in Google Doc like this. And for every talking head section that I know that I want myself to be on screen talking to the camera, I will highlight a certain color. So like, let's say I would do that yellow. So like all the talking head portion of my script would be highlighted yellow. So I know as I'm going through the script when I'm recording, I have to have this down really well. I have to be able to know what I'm saying here really well, and get that across. Maybe not, like I said, memorizing it like the first part, like it's not memorized, but I know most of it and I'm talking straight to the camera. So those are really important to get well on camera. Then the B-roll sections, there's sections that I know I want this covered in B-roll. So, maybe that would be like a blue. And so anything I highlight through my script blue, I know that there's going to be B-roll over top of it. And so I'm kind of pre-editing the video in my head as I've scripted it. And so then if there's really long paragraphs and I know there's going to be B-roll over it, I can actually then read it from the script. I can look down here. I don't even have to look at the camera, and I can read it from the script, knowing that there's going to be B-roll over top of that. So that does kind of pigeonhole you into the commitment of that's going to have to have B-roll over it. So you have to know what you want in the B-roll before you do this, but it just helps to kind of give you the confidence to know what you're saying. And then like captions, like text on the screen, or I even do like any graphics or anything else. Like you can highlight that. I guess I already used yellow. You can highlight that red or something else where okay, this needs to have a title slide with like the text on it. And then if I want text like over myself on a talking head, I'll highlight those words and select bold. And so like in the talking head portions, the bold text is stuff that I want on the screen in text, if that makes sense. So that's just a little bit a quick thing. Like that's more of a script thing than it is an on-camera confidence thing. But I tell you, if you start doing that much detail in the way you're structuring your videos and getting through the edit in your head before you even film yourself, that gives you a ton of confidence, because then you know exactly what the video is going to look like, or for the most part, before you even do it. And then it allows you for the talking head portions to really hone in on what you need to say for those portions of the video and not worry about the rest of the video as much as far as like looking at the camera. So, and then keep your delivery natural and avoid sounding robotic. This is the reason why I don't want you memorizing your paragraphs of script, because it sounds super robotic. It sounds super unnatural. And even if you look at news anchors, and they've been studying this their whole life and have a ton of experience, they seem robotic at times too. And that's because they have to read off a teleprompter. So I would avoid that and deliver as natural as possible. And that just means you don't memorize stuff. You just get it really ingrained in your head. You read through it a bunch. You understand what your edit's going to look like, and then you go from there. So that's tip 2. Tip 3 here is talk to one person. And there's a lot of videos out there that have talked about this. And so you just want to focus on one person that you're talking to through the camera. So you can imagine speaking to a friend, not the whole internet. So that's typically what I do, is I just think of like one person that I've helped out with video or with whatever I'm talking about, and I'm just having a conversation. They just asked me a question about something specific, And yes, it's all organized and I've written a script about it, which is not how you talk to someone, you know, that you're having coffee with. But at the same time, you can deliver the content and the points and the script that way, so that it just seems a lot more natural. And also you don't have to feel like you're talking to the entire internet, which can be daunting at that point. You're just talking to one person. So think about that. Sometimes you can place a sticky note or a photo if you have a photo of that person, but a sticky note near the lens. So just under the lens, on the tripod or whatever, just their name, or maybe if you're just making up a, you know, an avatar, like putting that on there can just be a visual reference for you. Okay, this is who I'm talking to. That's just a little tip there. And then this, again, like I said, makes the delivery a little bit more conversational and less intimidating. So it's really important that you think about just talking to one person, pick that person in your mind, whether they're real or not, and use that as your, you know, what you're envisioning talking to, not the whole internet itself. All right, tip number 4 are what I call throwaway reps. And this is honestly right here, this is like the key. I saved this for last. It seems stupid, but this will bring your confidence up a ton. And what this is recording short practice clips that you delete. You don't have to delete them. You can actually keep them. I have a whole log of like what I call test clips that I've kept over the years, like probably over the last 6 or 7 years. And all this is you set up, this is also very good, real quick, this is also very good to test out like your setup yourself, like the lighting, the audio, all that kind of thing. It's great for that as well. But you set up your shot and you just practice. It could be about nothing. It could be you talking about something you love to talk about. It doesn't have to be anything about what your, you know, potential videos or channels or anything else they're about. It can be about anything. But the key here is that you are going to record yourself. You're going to practice time and time again talking to the camera, talking to nobody. There's no one here. It's just the camera. But you're thinking of that one person and you're talking to them. And what this does is it removes the pressure to be perfect on the first try. If you haven't had a ton of reps talking to the camera, you're going to feel pressure to be perfect. You're going to feel pressure to say the right things and to not mess up and, you know, to not forget part of your script or what you want to talk about. You're going to feel that pressure. So this removes that pressure because you are getting a ton of reps in. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. So I'll say, like, I probably have done, I don't know, 500 plus throwaway reps, like stuff that it wasn't like a rep but before I record. Like it wasn't like I messed up or I just recorded this before I'm recording a video. I'm talking complete, just off the cuff. I'm recording this video and it has nothing to do with anything. It's just for fun to get some reps in. I've probably had 500 or more reps that are just short, you know, minute-long clips where I'm doing this. And I can say without a doubt that has helped me get a better setup visually and technically with audio and lighting and all this stuff, but also has improved the confidence and the delivery in what I do just exponentially. So it's just getting reps in. And that's the same thing with growing on YouTube. If you're trying to build a YouTube channel, you know, the more reps you get in, the more consistency you get in, the better you're going to become and the more your channel is going to grow and perform well. So that's number 4. That honestly is like the golden nugget, if you will. I think a lot of people overlook that. They just feel like, let's just hit record and upload everything. You can upload it. That's fine too. But then you're going to get frustrated because, you know, like Think Media always says your first videos are your worst videos. Yeah, that's true. But they don't have to be terrible. They don't have to be trash, right? So if you are feeling uncomfortable posting those things, do these throwaway reps. Take time and just make these throwaway reps. Delete them if you want. Keep them if you want for reference. Whatever you want to do, but do these. And they are reps that you're doing that are not for uploading. So that's a huge thing for me. All right. So what does this all matter? Well, I talked about why you want to be confident. But everything in these live streams and in the Creator Lab community are all about challenging you to do something, not just to learn it, not just to think about it, but to do it. And so the challenge of this week, and this is the first week I'm launching Creator Lab on Monday. It will be live. The first challenge is to record a 60-second video practicing one of these 4 tips. Okay, so this can be about anything. It can be something you're going to use for your channel, something you're going to use in a project, but just practice one of these things. It can be longer than 60 seconds, but if you're just doing like a throwaway, or you're just wanting to make something you're not going to upload, just do 60 seconds. Practice one of these things, at least one, maybe all of them, and share that inside the Creator Lab. So to do that, you have to sign up for it. It's in the link, free in the link description below. It's free to join. So join the Creator Lab. This is a place where we're going to challenge every week. There's gonna be challenges like this where it's just about getting better. It's just about the reps, right? We're going to keep doing reps. We're going to keep doing things to get better as we go, and we're going to learn a lot as we go. So as an aspiring creator, you know, I wanted this. I would have loved to have something like this as a community when I first started out. Even though I have a background in making videos, this I think is going to be huge to keep people moving forward and not be paralyzed in wanting your channel to grow and not knowing where to go and not knowing what to do. So make that 60-second video at least, and use one of those tips at least, and then you'll share it in a Creator Lab. If you're not comfortable sharing the throwaway rep or whatever else you're making, you can at least like make a little video of your reflection and what felt different when you did it. So that's the challenge for this week. And yeah, that's pretty much it for how to feel a little bit more confident on camera.